We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
LAPD Chief Michael Moore says his department is working to allow non-citizen DACA recipients who are officers the ability to carry a firearm full-time. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu and wherever you stream. I'm David Ono.
I'm Ellen Leyva. The LAPD says there are many steps that need to be taken to help DACA recipients become officers.
That's because there are federal restrictions regarding DACA recipients having guns, and Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Grande explains what it involves.
The LAPD is trying to work out a plan that would allow DACA recipients to become officers. California passed a law allowing people who do not have legal status to serve as police officers.
What's unique here is that the state is attempting, its agencies are attempting to identify a clear policy that's defendable and it articulates the basis for this allowance. And we believe we're the first agency that has done that in the state of California.
Immigration groups such as COFEM, the Council of Mexican Federations, says this is a positive move.
We think that documented people have a dream of becoming full-fledged members of our society. Their loyalty is proven, and they excel in many fields.
But there are federal restrictions regarding DACA recipients having guns. They could have police-issued weapons on duty, but wouldn't be allowed to take them home like other officers. Chief Moore says the department is looking to see how to make off-duty hours part of their work.
We've tried to carve just what is necessary for the DACA and to describe these individuals are be treated in the same basis of which non-DACA recipients are as to the possession of a department firearm and its use.
And there are also questions about non-citizens arresting citizens and what would happen if a DACA recipient loses their legal status.
Most of them, DACA students or DACA mentored, come from mixed status families that includes U.S. citizens. They are familiar with our communities and are able to uphold our laws.
The Board of Police Commissioners has approved preliminary changes that would allow DACA recipients to carry firearms. There are DACA recruits in the system that could join the department in the spring. And for all of this to happen, there has to be a major change in policy. All of that could take several months.
Illinois will allow for non-U.S. citizens to apply to become police officers. It becomes law on January 1st. It says that individuals who are not citizens but are legally authorized to work in the U.S. under federal law will be allowed to apply for jobs with police departments. The Democratic governor signed it earlier this year. Opponents say the legislation would allow anyone who enters the U.S. illegally to apply for positions.
Flood is concerned about a bill in the Nebraska legislature.
It would allow some children of undocumented immigrants to become law enforcement officers.
6 News' Joe Harris spoke with him this morning about response to his concerns.
It is ill-conceived, and I think it threatens our justice system.
Congressman Mike Flood is talking about an amendment to State Senator Teresa Iback's bill. LB 894 would require sheriff's candidates to be certified law enforcement officers when they file to run for office. And it now includes an amendment from Senator Justin Wayne to allow people who have Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival status, or DACA, to join the Thin Blue Line. Flood believes it would create problems in court.
If a law enforcement officer is not a citizen of the United States, entered this country illegally, how will a jury react to the evidence that that officer presents in a court of law when testifying? Suddenly, that officer, due to their immigration status, is going to be called into question.
A member of the Nebraska ACLU says the bill is written in a way that wouldn't change any of the qualifications needed to become a law enforcement officer, so nothing would really set them apart from other officers.
When a law enforcement officer steps up as an expert witness in what they saw, I don't see the defense jumping straight to impeaching him on his credibility for his citizenship status.
Flood also fears it would further complicate
Okay, so it turns out the UC Davis Police Department recently hired their first officer who's a DACA recipient. The opportunity was made possible by a new state law.
ABC 10's Alicia Machado has a closer look at the officer's journey into law enforcement.
Meet Officer Ernesto Marone, a new member of the UC Davis Police Department. He was sworn in December.
I was excited to start and, help out my community here at UC Davis.
He graduated from the university in 2020, and while his first day in the field as a police officer was just a few weeks ago, he has a long history with UC Davis PD. He joined the university's student security team in 2016.
When I got the position for student security, that was when I was able to talk with the police officers here and kind of just get to know what they actually are about.
It built trust that wasn't always there.
I grew up where I was not comfortable talking with the police officers or even a police department in general, just because, I was undocumented. I didn't have any, papers.
Marone was born in Jalisco, Mexico, and came to the United States when he was 5 years old. His family hoped for a better life for him.
My parents decided to have a better life for myself and come to the United States.
It wasn't until a law went into effect last year that Marone and others like him could even apply to be police officers. It removed the U.S. citizenship requirement, and now recipients of DACA, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, can work in law enforcement. Marone is UC Davis PD's first officer hired who is a DACA recipient.
I'm no different. I've been here for about 21 years in this country, so I don't see myself an outsider. There's just one thing that's different about me is just I'm not a citizen. That's it.
Marone went through background checks and the police.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there is also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.